Hi guys, so JA English Coach here, where of course my goal is to help you guys to speak confidently. All right, so today it's day 2 of our 5-day Improve Your English Challenge. So, what are we going to be looking at today? Of course, your listening skills, right? These two things here. All right, so the thing with listening, guys, I have to point this out, is that people don't listen. Let me say that again. People don't listen. Unfortunately, that's a universal problem, right? We could even see that now during the pandemic. People don't listen. All right, but we're going to look at a few steps that we can use to work on improving your listening skills. 7 steps to be exact, right? But before we get into the steps, I want you to listen carefully to this listening process, right? You're going to hear something, good? So you hear it, and then from that, you're going to understand what you hear, and then you're going to interpret it, all right? So let's get into those 7 methods. And remember, guys, that these methods might not work for everyone. So find the method that works for you and go with it. All right? So let's get into it. First suggestion, guys, is to focus. Right? I say focus, 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 because listening, to be honest, takes up almost maybe like 99.9, no, like 100% of your brain activity. So I want for you to listen carefully, focus when you're listening. I don't want you to listen and try to translate, because that's going to make it more difficult and you're going to be focusing on switching and it's too much. So just take your time and focus on listening in English. I know it's a challenge, trust me, I know, but just try it. I promise you it will make a difference. All right? The next thing that I do recommend is you could read along with like an audio or like subtitles for a movie. Once it's going on, just read along with it. I know that kind of sounds weird for your listening skills, but it does help because you're actually working on more than you're listening that way. But it's good because you will be hearing the different sounds, the pronunciations, the intonation, all of that. And then you'll see the expression, so it kind of ties in. So it gives you a better understanding of what's going on, right? So you definitely want to do that or try that. See if it works for you. Another thing that I do recommend is downloading podcasts, right? It doesn't even have to be a podcast. It could be watch a YouTube video, whatever it is, but make sure it's like a conversational video or audio that you're listening to, right? The reason why I say that is it will give you a feeling of your everyday conversations. So it's a great way to practice your listening, right? Because you have to remember in your everyday life, for example, I'm talking a little bit slower now, but in your everyday life, if you come across someone, then they're going to give you their regular speed. That was my regular speed for a second, right? And once you get their regular speed, it's important that you can still understand and interpret what they're saying. So I think listening to podcasts, conversational things will actually help with that. Now, another thing that kind of ties in or goes with that is practicing to listen to different accents. Now, I know you guys know my accent is not an American accent. My accent is not a British accent. It's not an Australian accent. It's a Jamaican accent, right? So it's good if you can hear the Jamaican accent and you know, okay, this person is from Jamaica, but I still understand what she's saying in English. Or you could have somebody who is from the UK and they're speaking and you could say, okay, that's a UK accent, but I can understand what they are saying, right? So it's very important that you learn the different accents also to make things easier for you. Because, for example, let's say you have an interview and the the person who is interviewing you is like from the US, then they'll have a US accent. So it's good that you can understand that accent. All right. So I know accents might not seem so important, but I do recommend that you practice listening to different accents. Yeah. Now, the next thing that I recommend that you do is just listen. Listen to everything you can. So, like, if it is that you are cooking, play like a little music in English. Or if you're gardening, listen to something meanwhile you do your gardening. If it is that you are going on the road, play some English, whether it's a podcast or some music in your car. If you use AirPods, if you're on a bus and it's whatever is on the radio is in English, listen to it. Wherever you can, just listen to things. Because to listen is something that you could just stick into your everyday life without being distracted from doing your regular activities, right? So try and put that in everywhere. Big recommendation there. Now, another thing that I want you to also do is to learn to understand context. Now, context is quite important, and that's why I always say to my students that you want to learn the different parts of speech, the different prepositions, those things, but more importantly, your parts of speech. The reason for that is because they can help you to know the context of a conversation without you having to know every single word and its meaning, right? So, for example, if I see the word jump or I hear the word jump, I'd be like, okay, so I know jump is a verb, so that's an action, right? So it kind of helps me with the context of the sentence without knowing what the full sentence is. So I do recommend knowing your parts of speech. I have some on my Instagram profile, which is JA English Coach. You could check them out, as well as I'll be doing a course on your parts of speech, prepositions, and who knows what else, right? So look out for those coming soon. So those are the things that I want you to keep in mind when you are practicing your listening skills. And then last but not least, guys, I said this in the first video and I'll say it again, it's to be consistent, right? Listen a little bit every single day. Now, of course, this is day 2. So my challenge for you now is for the next 30 days to listen to something for either 10 to 15 minutes. For example, if it's music, listen to a song maybe 2 or 3 times and don't just listen to it, try to understand what it's saying, right? So maybe today you listen to some music, tomorrow you listen to a podcast, the next day you listen to the news, the other day you might listen to the news from another country, so that's a different accent. The other day you could listen to a podcast from South Africa, so you get the different accents in, right? So that you could practice your accents. All right, guys. So hopefully those tips help. Remember, if you're interested, feel free to book a lesson with us to learn more and to become more confident with your English. All right. So remember, guys, subscribe, like, share, comment, everything. All right. So remember, guys, see you in the next challenge, which is day